little tidbits, and that's not to say you could do what this is 1937, so this would have probably been almost the color of the Maytag painted them that year. It would have been close, close enough for me. That's not to say if you had one you can paint it pink or red or blue or green or whatever color you want. I advise against it, but you can do that. The decals. Use the water transfer. You will have, well, they just work really good, and they're available. And that's with this internet thing right here, with the availability of parts anymore. There's just no reason to use an incorrect part because they're out there. You know, just get on the internet and buy you one. You know, these right here, I tend to put them decals kind of evened up from the top of the tank to the bottom. But if you observe engines that has the original decals on there, they will be a little bit crooked. They did not take any pains to put these decals on there, so you will find them askew a little bit, even to the side, to the top, bottom. The original Maytag would be off a little bit. You very seldom ever find one that's really straight. And that's where if you're restoring an engine, you would do things like that to put it back as original. This engine has all of the number 30 bolts on it. They're all match set. It has the number 1 head bolts match set, and that came on this engine. They didn't have the 30 on this particular one. Let's see. These engines did not have washers on the gas tank bolts. They just did not have them. Another thing that I have observed through the years, that the 2 bolts that holds the kick pedal on, always on an original engine, comes this way. The nut and the washer, and that was one place that Maytag actually used a washer. Behind the nut, and they always came from that direction out this way. Most of the time they were a little bit long. I have found out even this decal on the side cover here. Let's see, let's move around a little bit here. I have also found out that this decal on the side cover, most of the time on an original engine, most of the time it'll be towards the front for some reason. The amount of overhang, it won't be centered up as this one is. Most of the time they'll be to the front. And in order to get this decal on here straight like that right there, I have found out it's better to put the engine together and put the gas tank on a level surface, and then when you put the decal up there, you can put it on there level. I have a lot of problems myself getting the decal straight if I do it just on the sideboard over there. And this decal, the notice, was in this position on the front of the tank on this particular model. It only used 3 decals. The Maytag was on the back, the other 2 over there. And it did not, these engines did not use this red decal. Even on the 92, that was not a decal to go on the segment cover. It was not there. If you noticed that, I done already put them there Maytag. Y'all see them spark plugs in there? Maytag. We got the power of them up in there. This engine right here is pretty well 1937, and that is the early model script spark plug. There is an early and a late. When you put that little forky thing in there on that spark plug, you need to get that on there. And sometimes it's there is a way you can catch it sideways with your finger in that rubber thing. Put it up on like that, and it'll go right on there. But you want to make sure that is affixed to the spark plug in good manner, because if you have a gap right there, it's a little bit hard on your coil over there. This one has the boots that came on all of them. And I do notice that some of them is available on eBay there. It's a good addition to your engine. What else? Another one of the comments was about the gaskets, and there was no gasket between the gas tank top and the crankcase. They did not have a gasket in there. I have found that it should be some gasket compound applied to the two metal surfaces before you put those two together. If you kind of do a little bit of research on it, on the way that gas tank bolt comes up through this right here, if that don't have any sealer there, and you put a lock washer and a bolt up through there, then you actually, when you tie that up, you actually are leaving a gap between the lock washer opening up beside the bolt up into the top of the tank, and you will have gas seepage here if you do not put a little compound in there. But do not put a gasket in there, because the vibration of the engine will work the gasket loose, and at some point in time you will have those two pieces loose if you put a gasket in there. You do have a gasket here. You have a small washer here on both sides. This one, the muffler, back pressure. Oh, let's talk back pressure. One of the comments, well, I'm gonna say one of the most commented question is I've got an engine, it'll start and run and then it quits. What can I do for it? Well, now I cannot answer that. There are just too many possibilities of what could be wrong with the engine. One of them, if you are running your engine with an open exhaust, you're not going to have very good performance out of it. That's not to say it will not run forever that way. But these engines, 2 cycles, the design of them, and them engineers, you know, they pretty smart people. They didn't just throw that muffler on there and drill in 4 holes in there haphazard. There was a reason that they did that. Even to the longer length of pipe, you can actually have a 2-cycle engine, and you can tune it up for horsepower, torque, whatever you want to do by the exhaust system only. The original Maytag only had 4 of these little holes right here. There's 4 of them in there, and that's a little bitty hole. And if you put one of them aftermarket Briggs & Stratton made in China mufflers over here, you may deaden the sound a little bit, but you're not adding any back pressure of any significant amount. If you're going to put one of those mufflers on there, you would need to block up about 90% of the holes in the dang thing. They don't even work good on a Briggs & Stratton engine. I'm just saying. And they did have a gasket between this adapter and the exhaust manifold. There's a gasket there, and that's important also. If there's no gasket in there and you're sucking air, if you're leaking air then you're losing your back pressure. The same way about this hose right here. The factory sealed them up with a shellac compound. All of this right here needs to be a sealed system so that you will be happy with your back pressure. Yeah, we're going to continue this in the next episode.